months of confinement and virtual presence. For those of you who are not familiar with Standard Chartered, we are a UK-based global trade bank with a proud heritage of being the longest-serving financial institution in Bangladesh. And over this time, we have had the privilege to be part of the incredible growth story of the nation and are keenly aware of the enormous potential of the Bangladesh economy. When I last visited Bangladesh before the pandemic, meeting business leaders in Dhaka and Chittagong, I could see that potential firsthand. I felt the buzz of activity and the resilience of the business and entrepreneurs, which was remarkable, and it reinforced my deep belief that the country's growth story would continue with the help of continued reforms like the ones that we have heard about already today. And with economic growth set to be over 7% for the next 5 years, it is an economy that is not only ascending, but in many ways it's outpacing its peers. The theme of the forum today, building sustainable growth partnerships, is incredibly timely and important. Over the last 2 years, the world has been grappling with the pandemic, which has led the global economy to the worst recession in nearly 100 years and created very significant challenges for public health and cost many human lives. Although the global pandemic has shown little regard for borders or geographies, as we all have found, it is clear that the economic impact of the pandemic and the social impact of the pandemic has not been shared adequately. And the situation has not improved last year, as one example. But in spite of this, Bangladesh remains one of the fastest growing economies in the world and has once again demonstrated its resilience during the pandemic. In the financial sense, because sustainable development goal-aligned investment flows for emerging markets and developing economies fell by around 1/3. With the recovery of the global economy underway, it's encouraging to see trade and investment also recovering globally. However, the challenges remain, notably dealing with the remaining uncertainties linked to COVID and regaining the economic ground lost during the pandemic and transitioning our economies to a low-carbon, low-emissions, prosperous and sustainable future with a more inclusive society. We need to now focus on how the UK, Bangladesh, and other key international stakeholders can work together to achieve our shared trade, investment, development, and net zero goals. As a number of you, I have been in Glasgow and just returned from COP26, and what's very clear is the need for business and private finance to step up. We need to help amplify the voices from emerging markets like Bangladesh, who are countries that are most at risk from climate change and need the most support with the transition to a low-carbon economy. However, the sustainable financing gap is enormous. In Asia alone, that gap stands around $3 trillion to 2030. And even where investment flows are SDG aligned, emerging markets remain chronically underinvested despite having the greatest need. For instance, 2/3 of global assets under management are currently invested in Europe and North America, with less than 1/4 invested in Asia. We recognize these challenges and are taking steps to reverse these trends. Let me share with you that Standard Chartered last week announced that we are mobilizing $300 billion in green and transition finance by 2030. But we must aim for a just transition that ensures that decarbonization is consistent with continuing economic and social development, which is so critical for emerging markets. For Bangladesh, I want to recognize the steps already taken, such as Her Excellency's, the Prime Minister's Climate Prosperity Plan to enhance resilience, grow the economy, create jobs, and expand opportunities using climate change as the catalysts. I know that Bangladesh will continue to rise to the challenge as it has done throughout its history. If we can overcome the challenges, sustainable infrastructure alone represents a 10 trillion global investment opportunity, as our research shows, by 2030. And it is clear that there are many reasons to be optimistic, both on the world and on Bangladesh. Standard Chartered's own research shows that the Bangladesh economy is set to cross the $500 billion GDP threshold by 2025, and per capita GDP is set to reach $3,000. Both are incredible achievements. There are long-term integrated development programs in place that connect infrastructure, industry, agriculture, urbanization, climate change, risk mitigation, and sustainability. And there are significant opportunities presented by greater technology adoption and infrastructure investment. Standard Chartered is very proud to be a partner to Bangladesh as it capitalizes on the opportunities ahead. So, dear friends, thanks very much for your attention today, and I hope that you continue.